Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It's time for Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Thursday morning, it's February 23rd, and this is Joe Callahan. Dave Richards is sticking around. Hello there, Dave.
Oh, hi there.
And Emily Haining-Sheen from the Call newspaper.
Good morning.
Is here. Roar outside, huh?
Yes, it is. It's a rainy, cold day.
All right.
Gotta love it.
We're expecting Scott
We're
McGee.
not talking about the Katy Perry song either.
No?
No.
Is that a Katy Perry song?
Roar.
Oh, the wrong roar.
It was a joke, Joe.
Oh, that's R-O-A-R.
It's the way
not
everybody says it.
R-A-W.
Raw.
Oh.
It's raw outside.
All right. And we're expecting a Scott McGee or a delegate from the Stearns
A
McGee
reasonable
Remax
facsimile.
properties to be joining us on the phone. And we'll be joined by Mike DeBrois, Director of Planning and Development for the City of Woonsocket. He'll be here about 8:30 this morning. But time for first message, please, from the Call newspaper.
Yes. So our St. Patty's Day contest will be starting next week. You can go online either on the woonsocketcall.com or the pawtuckettimes.com to vote once every day. And we have some, great participants. And our first, second, and third winners, when the contest is over, can actually choose a gift card of their choice of one of the participating sponsors. So, starting on the 27th, you can go online and vote every day. So if you are interested in...
Is this another one of those online-only entry contests?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Who would do something like that?
I don't know, Dave.
We have so many great, listeners.
Does she even get what we're joking about?
Listeners, yes, I can joke.
Dead presidents.
Yes,
Yeah.
I could. Listeners here, on the station, as well as our patrons, who are online subscribers. But you don't have to be an online subscriber to participate. There will be a kind of like an icon that you can click on our homepage of both of the websites. So if you are interested in any of our advertising opportunities, please give me a call at 401-767-8500.
I forgot to mention that Bob Lauder cannot join us here at the Coffee Ann program today.
It doesn't change anything. He still can't do it, even
That's
if you
right.
didn't announce it.
I know, but he's not here, and he's got court, and work comes first, I guess. So, well, hopefully Bob can join us again next week.
Well, it's got to come first.
That's right. So anyway, jumping into things that we need to jump into right away. Em, I don't know if you saw it. Channel 10 was in town. They were interviewing the mayor. And it looks like their I-team came up here and said, "Hey, how much money did this cost?" And
Yeah.
Scott McGee is here.
Scott McGee's in person today.
And
This is perfect timing.
I'm impressed.
I am too. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing well. How
All
are
right.
you?
I'm doing great.
Oh, great. Now, Scott, we're going to have you put on your city council hat.
Yes.
Well, what does he know? He wasn't elected.
We're
I know.
putting you on the hot seat.
But we ask him
He
his
doesn't
opinion.
know any more than the rest
Well,
of us.
we ask his opinion. Did you see the Channel 10 news report?
I actually saw I saw the video of it.
Okay,
I didn't
good.
catch that actual 6 o'clock news, but yeah.
Well, they started running it at 4 o'clock
You mean the basic,
every half
like,
hour.
how much
well,
was spent?
Right. The I-team came up here,
Sure.
or they looked into it, and they said, well, this is how much money was spent in order to oust the mayor, and then
Correct.
just to have her reelected a month later. So $35,000 in legal fees for the counselor that represented the Woonsocket City Council.
Right.
A little over $35K. A little over $9,100 for city employees, for a lawyer that represented the city employees.
The ones that were subpoenaed,
Yes.
they get legal counsel.
Sure.
And $101,000 for the defense lawyer for the mayor.
Not bad, right? Unbelievable.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I was going to say that to Bob. By the way,
And-
we should have
and-
gone to the
Yeah.
law.
For the and I'm one of them, for a resident of Woonsocket,
It's coming out of your pocket.
it's coming. Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
And-
be honest with you, though. I think it's a crazy amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
and it was absolutely ridiculous, which we all thought. I'm pretty sure we all thought, just going by voting, but also the fact that I thought it could have been even more than that, and then
So it's about 150.
and from what I understand, they're still like looking into other things that they forgot about. So I'm not really sure if that's true or not. But whatever it is, it was just for the 1 month or whatever. Couldn't we have just all gotten along and sat at a round table?
You took the words right
Sat at a
out of
round
my
table,
mouth.
right?
Well,
Can't
I have
we
to
get
disagree
along?
with you in your choice of words, Scott. Although I think our feelings are the same. I say tragic. The whole thing is tragic.
Yeah.
Because you've got now. It happens everywhere. Whenever human beings get together, there's going to be agreement, disagreement. There's going to be hard feelings. There's going to be somebody, he said, she said, grudges sometimes. And we all know that grudges are counterproductive. And they just don't move things forward. But this is what happens with human beings, and it's a fact of life. Once Denise Sierra's signature was put on that paper and she handed it to the city clerk, there was nothing anybody could do.
Exactly.
I look at this whole thing, and you can have your opinions about Dan Gendron, city council president, who immediately became mayor, whether he wanted it or not. And everybody's twittering around, oh, he just did this so he could become mayor. Come on, give me a break. It was all decided months before, when the tax bills didn't go out and there was a delay with the tax bills. Set this whole thing up for being this way. And once the signature was on that paper and it was put in there, everyone was duty bound to do stupid stuff.
Yep.
I mean, and there wasn't a single one, except maybe Jimmy Canoyer, I don't know, who didn't say this whole thing is stupid. Even Denise Sierra, in a private conversation, told me, she says, I can't believe we have to do this, but I'm not running again, so this doesn't affect me, except that I'm a resident of Woonsocket, and people are telling me, what are you going to do with your last months in office? And they're saying, you should do something of lasting benefit. I should do something of lasting benefit. What? I'm a lame duck. I've already said I'm not going to run again. You should put the papers in, and you should take her out and teach her a lesson. This is what people are talking to her about. She told me this. People are saying this to her. And she's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. I said, well, okay. And so she did it.
Right.
But she lost. Dan lost. Jimmy lost. I mean, Roger Gillette lost.
Right.
And so I say the word is tragic.
Tragic makes sense.
The whole thing
Fair enough.
is tragic. It's something that was put in place by perhaps well-meaning people at the time, although you agree or disagree with their opinions. But, I mean, in their opinion, they were doing what they thought was right at the moment, and it just blew up and backfired in a tragedy.
It blew up and backfired in a tragedy, and also I actually hated to see that yesterday because it hasn't been. I like to put it behind us.
Well, of course,
I wasn't involved in that. I know, but it was just it's been good going forward, and the people on the old council. There's some smart people there.
Yeah.
John Ward, even on the council now. I mean, I'm learning a lot from
agree
him
or
too.
disagree,
I mean,
and
there's a lot to
I get
to
it
learn.
from both sides.
Yeah.
John just has his opinions,
Right.
and he says them, and he does the homework. I mean, he looks things up, and, and he quotes the stuff like that, and you can agree it or disagree, but the fact is that man does the homework.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And there you go. And others
and
do
the new
too. And others
council
do
is
too.
very good about it too. But he's got the experience that he was there for the last whatever years it
Yeah,
was.
right.
100 years, right?
Now, in the report, Scott, that Channel 10 did, they did come up and talk to the mayor, interviewed her, and she's basically saying, what a waste of money.
Right.
For the
And
taxpayers.
I think
in
we
Woonsocket.
all
That's
think
what
that.
she say.
Yeah.
And, well, that's right. But they did reach out to Dan Gendron, and who basically said we were just following the charter.
Right.
So where do things stand on changing the charter? Is there any talk of that? Is there any movement on that?
Yeah, there's talk of the panel, the new charter review board, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I am as far as where it's at right now, I'm not exactly sure, but it's just been talked about. And then, some people think it doesn't need to be changed. And then others
Some people
say,
on the council.
no, I'm just listening to
Just other people.
to the residents.
Okay.
Yeah, some
Leave it
people
the way
say
it
that-
is.
Leave it the way it is. Maybe give a second option.
Okay.
Like sit at the round table and discuss it before we end up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, which makes sense, I think.
Where do you stand on the charter?
Oh, boy.
In this
Still collecting
situation.
information?
What's that?
You're still collecting information?
I'm collecting information for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with it either. I just felt like it was a waste of money. So
Yeah.
I think something needs to be looked at with the charter also.
Okay.
I think it needs to be updated.
And it kind of just puts a stain on Woonsocket in general.
Again.
Well, I don't,
Again.
Again.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
What do you mean, Dave?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Well,
it certainly does.
well, no. I was there. I saw what happened. I'm proud of people who see their duty and do it. There's always going to be controversy. There's always going to be disagreement. It happens whenever you get several people together. I'm proud that they did their duty regardless of the peril. Bad things happened. It's a tragedy. And yet, in the election, here we are moving forward again. I'm proud of this city. It's going to take a lot more than this for me to not be proud of Woonsocket. And if somebody wants to snicker somewhere else in the state saying, oh, you guys are a bunch of bozos up there, they're going to have to get by me.
Yeah.
I do. And maybe I didn't preface, enough, but it's not so much, stained on Woonsocket where it comes to like the residents. It's the perception.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Perception.
You're talking about
That's-
airing your dirty linen in public.
yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
That entire time in October, that first week of October,
I
I
mean-
said, do I want to broadcast this? Do I really want to?
and
Do I
the
want to
thing
show my
is,
dirty linen to all our neighbors?
I mean, it's only my husband and I that are residents of Woonsocket. Our family is, across the state. And that was the topic of conversation
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Mhm.
And friends saying, God, you guys, really don't know what you're doing up there in Woonsocket. And, just another, because, let's be honest. There's certain cities and parts of this state that get a bad rap. Mm-hmm. It's just
Oh,
it's
listen.
just a fact.
In real estate, I hear it too.
It's just a
bet.
fact.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And this just, was kind of, I wouldn't say, the icing on the cake.
right.
Jinx. But, it was just another, another
Again.
stain, like I said, another stain on, our great city. I mean, look at all the great things that are happening, and it's overshadowed by
Right. The bad
this.
things.
And unfortunately, and this is just my opinion, unfortunately, I think this, 5 years from now, this story will never go away.
You're
Well,
absolutely
it's
right.
history.
It is history.
It is history.
Yeah.
It's
so
sad. It's sad, but
and
it's
it's
history,
sad,
right?
but it's history, and this will come up again. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next year, but it will be talked about again.
Right.
And
I was
that's
sorry to see that yesterday. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
now we've been moving forward and looking at the
exactly.
positive things.
But
and
I
trying to be
think
positive.
it's just as journalism, it's it's still fresh. So
Right.
why not
Right.
still keep it in the news?
And if you talk to any state legislature from around here that has to go down to the state house,
Oh yeah.
they hear it down there. From,
Absolutely.
from what's in the water up there? What is going on?
Yep.
And they they got to shrug their shoulders. Oh, yes.
Or the sewer, but that's a whole nother.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we had that one time here when we had a series of governors who got in legal trouble, and one of them was thrown in jail and stuff like that. I would get that from around the country, and I simply told them, I said, "Yeah, right. We catch our crooks and we put them in jail. What do you do with your crooks?"
Right.
So you want to make something of it? Every community's got it. Every community has discourse, and sometimes it gets out of hand. Come on. I mean, let's all be big boys and big girls. If your neighbor is suffering a problem and going through a storm, You should pray for them, assist them if you can, but don't laugh at them. My goodness, we wouldn't do that.
Right.
All right, we can take a.
I mean, you see us up here yucking it up that there's like 20 murders in Providence and we're only in the second month of the year. No, we don't.
Right. It doesn't
We
hit
pray
the
for
news
them.
as much as
we
as
worry
do.
about them. We hope that they find a solution for this.
Right.
And they should do the same for us.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. So it's time for a second message from the call newspaper M. And so we'll go right ahead.
Yes. So, it's a rainy day, but that doesn't
That's an
mean that
understatement.
it's a rainy day, but it doesn't mean that your business, can't forward themselves with advertising. So we are not, and I've said this before, we're not just a newspaper anymore. We are actually a full media house. We actually are rebranding, and we are now, and some people have always known this, but we are the Rhode Island Media Group because it's all media that we actually handle, whether it's in print or digital. We also have the capabilities to do billboards. We have the capabilities to do streaming on podcasts, on streaming channels with commercials and things like that. So if you are interested in any type of digital advertising, you can give me a call at the Woonsocket call, 401-767-8500.
Very good, M. More coffee and
I like
coming
the
your
way
way.
she said the Woonsocket call.
Hi, I'm Kathy LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello or maybe Zapolas right before St. Joseph's Day, Easter breads, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making. So many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ON, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan here, along with Dave Richards, Scott McGee, M from the call, and M. Let's hear your throat capacity this morning, please, for Scott.
401-639-2906.
Cha-cha-cha.
One more time.
401-639-2906.
Very good. Scott, tell us
Thank
about
you.
Remember to vote by number.
All right. I know, right?
That's right.
So
Scott,
we're
tell us
actually
about
getting
the
a
local
little
listing here.
Yeah, since last couple of weeks we've gotten busy, which is good because it's been quiet for a while. So 1026 Hill Road in Burrillville. So this is a property on 5 acres. It's one owner, 4-bed, 2-bath.
We know the neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, you do, right?
Yep.
Like 1,900 square feet on 5 acres, open cathedral ceilings. I would say the house is immaculate. It really is. It's immaculate. It's got a 1-car garage,
And
integral
so
underneath.
quaint. Look at that split rail
I-
fence in
Yeah, I
front,
was just
huh?
going to say that. Yeah.
It's so quaint, and I can speak to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is a place where you're only maybe 5-6 minutes away from milk and bread, but you are out in the country, boys and girls.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's fantastic. The people here, they actually like bird watchers.
Yeah.
So they love their property for that.
Yeah.
They go all over the country, actually, like bird watching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's what they love that for. And they're heading west. So they're retired heading west, and there's no other reason why they're selling it. It's just a great property for them.
Look at this, 5.5 acres.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Yeah, that's
property.
a big
Oh
property.
my.
Yep. So it's very quiet up there, you know. Just a great property, and everything's updated. Everything's been maintained because they're the only owners, you know. So
Well,
it's
and it was also built in 1992.
Right,
So
right.
it's, or as well, just
But it's not a
1990.
big. It's not a big place. It's not like one of those yuppie mansions that it's a burden to try to keep clean.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's 2 people living there right now, but it's definitely enough. There's 4 beds, 2 baths, so it's enough for a
Right.
big
Yeah.
family also. And with
So
the
you
lack
got a
of,
computer
lack of inventory,
room,
we'll
and you
have
got
yeah. For lack of inventory, we have an open house there tonight, 5:30 to 7 actually.
Do you?
Yep. So
Why
if
can't it be
anyone's
tomorrow
interesting-
night?
Well,
I'm going to be in
I wish-
Pasco tomorrow night.
I wish it was tomorrow too, because they announced the city council meeting the night before last too for tonight.
Oh,
Closed
yeah,
session,
yeah, that's right. You
So-
got a special session tonight.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I'll be there till 6:30 at the open house. Then someone's taking over.
Yeah, that's right. So you can get back for 7, right?
Right.
Because you only have to go up 2 flights of steps for this one tonight, there, Scott.
Right.
You don't have to
There's
go
only
all the
second
way up
floor.
to Harris Hall. This
Right.
is the second floor council chambers. But
I
you
may,
got some.
I may take the elevator.
Well, you know you could
not?
really, but it'd be faster zipping up those stairs.
Right, right.
Seriously,
Yeah, because I'm going to be running late almost.
and we do mean running.
All right. Very nice. We did get a note.
At least the bridge is back in Glendale.
Yes, thank God.
You know,
yes.
Nasonville rather.
Yeah.
Where on Broncos Highway, they had a bridge out for like 3 years, Joe. And you
Oh
had to-
yeah, it's
you had to
been
go all the
and
way
I feel
past
and
the
I feel
Weston. And,
and I feel so bad for those businesses
exactly.
that were they were cut off one way.
Oh, sure.
You would have to go around,
the
but
former Mr. Doughboy, they had to sell.
Yeah.
I
They
have it
couldn't
on
make
the
ends
market
meet.
if you want to talk about that too. It's
Yeah.
actually
Yes.
a
You talked
super
to- yeah, you
opportunity
talked
about
about
that one.
that, actually.
They
Yeah.
still have the registered train tracks there, don't they?
They're not. There's no tracks there, but
they
there's
took the
path.
tracks
yeah,
out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The tracks
Oh,
are
that's
out.
too bad because that guy spent like 5 years getting
I can't
permission
imagine.
I know,
to have
it's-
train rides for kiddies
Sure.
around the property
I
on this
know.
And
little
the
tiny
stone walls are
locomotive.
still there. Like you can't see them from the road, but he's got I can't imagine how long it took him to build those. stone
Batting
walls.
cages,
Yeah.
mini
yeah,
golf,
mini golf.
Yeah.
plus doughboys. Everybody loved
it's-
But
doughboys.
anyway,
yeah,
the bridge,
it's
the bridge
it's a
was a
shame.
killer for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was a killer for that.
It's
Yeah.
a shame.
So, anyway, sorry, Joe.
That's quite all right.
So because of that, you'll get back to Woonsocket even faster.
You exactly. Yes, I will. I'll be here for 7:00.
So we got a question that was called in 766-1240, and it's kind of a rhetorical question. But if you want to
hate
weigh in on
rhetorical
it,
questions.
Scott, go right ahead. It says, if, as the mayor insists, the police contract is illegal, why hasn't she declared it void and demanded the union come back to the table to negotiate a legal contract?
How would Scott know that?
Yeah, I was
I'm
just gonna say.
asking if he wants to weigh in on this, he can.
No,
but if not,
I honestly don't know a lot about it. I mean,
Okay.
I
the
followed
mayor will
it.
be here next week, won't she?
Yeah, you'll have to ask her on
Yes.
that one because I'm not.
Next
exactly
Thursday,
sure
the
on
mayor
that.
will be here. You can ask her in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that they didn't want to touch it right away, so I don't know. I'm
Well, she's got a lot of other things to catch up on.
Bigger
and
fish
she
to
had an
fry.
election and blah, blah, blah.
bigger fish to fry right now. But I think, yeah, I can't really comment on that because I don't know enough about it. But
okay,
thanks for asking.
not a problem. Now,
Yeah, ask again next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll know next
exactly.
week.
What is the? Give us a brief rundown of the special meeting that's happening tonight. Why is the town city council
yeah.
getting together?
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that they can't talk about in public.
Well, yeah,
Well,
that's
what can you
exactly
talk about in
right.
public?
And, to be honest with
So-
you, I
so
have
why'd
the
you ask
agenda,
him in
but I'm-
public?
But I'm not actually sure that I can go over it, right?
Oh well, all right then.
No, you can read from the agenda, which is what Garrett did, because
Okay.
Garrett sent us a little recording of it.
Oh, he did?
And all he did is just read from the agenda, discussion of,
Yeah, it's just
discussion of.
It's
Yeah.
about buying land.
Yeah,
and-
then go to open session and seal the minutes.
yeah, exactly.
That was it.
Yeah.
The only
It was-
the only thing that we could broadcast is when they emerged from closed session and
Take
seal the
place.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we could broadcast.
Yeah.
So, folks, we won't be broadcasting it
And
tonight.
well, actually, what's funny is I had that agenda, and I said to myself, I don't know if it's public.
well, no, actually,
was-
once you get it, that is public.
Okay. yeah,
Once you
so
get it in your hand, the
Right.
piece of paper is public.
it's online, right? So
Right.
All right, we'll move on to
I think
other
Mike
things.
DeBrois is here.
He did walk in.
Did Royce
Yes.
come in?
Yes, he did.
I'm going to scoot out so Mike has a place to sit down.
All right, very good. Thanks, Dave. Just other things going on. We talked about the city of Woonsocket not having bad reputation, whatever. But look what's going on in Warwick. They're the Tollgate High School vice principal arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
And last weekend, the Warwick School Committee member arrested, DUI, alleged drunk driving. So
Yeah.
we don't have it as bad as they keep
Yeah.
making it out to be.
You don't want to go out after those meetings, I guess.
I guess
You know.
not.
No.
I guess not.
You know, I will speak to that though. I mean, it's a terrible thing, but it's you can go out and have two and a half drinks, and you can get
You're over the limit.
Pulled
nip-
over.
nip- yeah, you can
Yeah.
get nipped for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I mean, I think I'm guilty of it myself, having over 2 drinks, and I think if you get pulled over, sometimes if you take that breathalyzer, you might be over that limit.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 chance.
I don't know how intoxicated they were, but
They don't say.
Yeah.
But the vice principal, Todd Grimes, he was arrested. He was in Westerly on February 2nd. He wasn't in the town of Warwick, probably just out
he would have had a better
having
shot.
a good
in Warwick.
time.
He would've
Yeah,
had a better
yeah,
shot in
maybe.
Warwick, yeah.
And the school committee member, she has come out and issued a public apology. So
Wow.
she's admitting she was drunk, but they don't say
That's too
how
bad.
far over the limit they were.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like any kind of accidents happened, so maybe
Yeah.
just
Well, that's
caught in a
that's
trap.
a
I
good
don't
Yeah.
know, but look
Yeah,
what's
that's-
going on in Warwick. So
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's
exactly.
a lot of things going on everywhere in the state, but
Absolutely.
Yeah.
we've seen like you were saying, we get the negative attention a lot, which is
We do,
not
which
good.
is unfair.
Yeah, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't like either.
all right,
But-
as I mentioned this to Dave earlier today off the air. This doesn't affect me in any way at all, and I don't know if it's going to affect you guys at all. But they're limiting outdoor dining on Federal Hill. Does this affect your life in any way,
No.
Scott?
Yeah, a little bit.
Does it?
A
Okay.
little bit.
Did you like going there on
Yeah,
Friday nights?
I go
or-
there. I used to live up on Federal Hill actually.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's they. I didn't realize they were limiting it though. I didn't see that.
Just to Saturday nights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no more Friday
Which
nights.
makes sense.
Well, they're citing the expense involved. The Federal Hill Commerce Association has also decided they're going to close Atwells Ave on Saturdays only from Memorial Day to Labor Day. 6 weeks less than in previous years.
Well, they never always closed it. So
No,
so I can see a closure
that was a
as-
big issue.
Right.
So close to vehicles?
Yeah, they
Yes.
were closing it off during COVID and everything. They
Yeah.
were closing it off so that they could get more business outside.
Okay.
But when I was there a couple of years, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I lived up there 4 years ago, maybe. It's a long time. But they had outdoor dining. So are they not stopping that, or just talking about the road closure? Or you don't know, because the road closure is a big deal. I can see that just being
Yeah.
one night a week.
Outdoor restaurant seating will be more limited on Federal Hill. Al fresco dining will be reduced to Saturday nights, eliminating Fridays.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
For whatever
So that means
reason,
when you
then.
come off 95 and you take a right and you go
Under
underneath the pineapple,
Pineapple or pine cone?
I always call it a
Pineapple.
pineapple. So you just, and that's where they'll close off the
Pineapple.
street right there. So you got to take a right, or I don't think you take a left. A left's a one-way street.
Right.
So you got to take a right and go and try to park somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And then walk it.
yeah, I like outdoor dining up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice, but I mean Saturday is fine.
I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice restaurants up there.
Yeah.
River Falls has a hookah lounge up there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
We did,
it used to be
another
the Nara Lounge. I think it's a different name now.
another note that's been called in. This one directly to Scott McGee from Paulette Hamilton,
Oh, hi
a
Paulette.
former counselor. Says you're doing a great job.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Nice. Aw, isn't that sweet?
I love Paulette.
Thanks.
Paulette, say something else.
All right. The other not good news. Honeywell in Smithfield is closing down,
And
laying off everybody.
you know what? It's
that?
actually my cousin's wife is being laid off.
Is she?
Yep,
No,
she works there, and she loved
working there.
working there.
Well, they produced the N95 mask, and it was the hot thing
Yep.
2 or 3 years ago now. But now it's not the hot thing, and I guess that the sales must not be
Yeah,
there
I
anymore
was
for
I was
them. It's
talking
supposed
I
to
was,
drop
I was
right off the
talking
table.
to I was talking to my mom this morning, and she let me know that that they were
No.
closing.
Honeywell does a lot of other things also.
True. My cousin, I guess she would be my cousin too, because she's my cousin's wife.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, she's been a part of our family for like 20 years. So, but she was one of the people that assembled.
Oh, okay.
So, that, and that was income,
Sure.
coming in to the home. I mean, my cousin does work as well, and he's worked for the same company for over 20 years as well. But, she really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's
And she's
terrible.
she's such a hard worker. And, it's just such a shame
Right.
that,
The news story we have is that the layoff's going to start in late April. Has she been told when her last day may be?
no, she has not.
Okay.
At least they gave him a warning, right?
Yes.
So that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
And will
But
she?
Honeywell, is it the same company that makes the thermostats and everything too?
Yes.
Yeah, in Cranston, I believe, right?
Yes. Well, and there's a Honeywell right here in Woonsocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now,
Good point.
will she? Will she start looking for a job immediately, or will she?
I
give it a little time?
don't quite know. I mean,
Lay low for a while.
yeah. I mean, she is a grandmother, and she does take care of the grandkids and stuff, and my younger cousins, they're twin daughters.
Yeah.
My cousins, they're in high school.
Right.
So
She may play the grandmother part for a
yeah,
while.
she might. Yeah, because
Play
it's
that
funny
up.
because she had 5 girls altogether.
Wow.
Yeah, and my
a lot of weddings.
and my twin cousins, they're the youngest out of the 5 girls. So their older sisters all had kids.
Right.
So and it's funny because my twin cousins, they're gonna be 16 in August, and their nephew is a year older than they are.
That's funny.
I've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
Speaking of weddings,
So-
is it still common for like the bride's parents to pay for a wedding? I bet
Well,
it's
I mean,
not,
I
huh?
know my first wedding. My
first wedding, right?
My first wedding. My first wedding. My parents, did pay.
That's kind of the old-fashioned way, I think, right?
Yes, I mean my parent. I grew up in a traditional household.
Sure.
The second wedding, my parents are like,
You're on your own.
all you guys.
all you.
But I will say that my second wedding was so much more fun.
Well, that's
So
the way
much
it's
more
supposed
fun,
to be, right?
and we did it. We got exactly what we wanted, and we didn't break the bank.
Right.
All right. There you
You
go.
know,
Did it my way.
I actually had like my perfect wedding, and it
Beautiful.
was the second time.
Where
All
was
right.
it?
It was at the Viking Hotel in Newport.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice.
All right, time to take a break here. Time for a look at the forecast, and it's being brought to you by Compassion International.
Rain and sleet before noon, then freezing rain and sleet in the afternoon. Temperature falling to around 24 degrees by 5 this afternoon. Northeast winds will gust to 20 miles an hour. Little or no sleet accumulation is expected. Tonight, we continue the precipitation, although the chance will be decreasing to 50%. Temperature will be rising overnight to around 32 degrees by 5 a.m., and it's a chance of freezing rain and sleet and freezing rain overnight. Friday's weather mostly sunny with a high of 34, breezy with a high wind gust up to 40 miles an hour from the northwest. Saturday, a 20% chance of some snow showers in the afternoon, mostly cloudy all day with a high of 25. Sunday, a 30% chance of snow showers in the afternoon, and maybe rain showers after 5. Mostly cloudy, high of 38. Monday, a 30% chance of snow after 5 p.m., partly sunny and a high of 36. And next Tuesday, a 70% chance of rain and snow likely, mostly cloudy all day, high of 39.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the cloudy skies. Is it raining outside, Mike?
It is.
We've got rain and 34 degrees. Drought, war, and rising food prices have devastated families in poverty. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When you're looking for the best steak sandwich in Woonsocket, look no further than Kay's Restaurant on Cass Avenue. Their juicy and tender steak is cooked to perfection and piled high on a fresh roll with all the fixings. But the steak sandwich is just the beginning. The Kay's Restaurant menu is packed with other delicious options like comforting soups and salads and specials every single day. And the friendly staff at Kay's Restaurant will ensure you have a dining experience unlike any other. So come on down to Kay's Restaurant on Cass Avenue in Woonsocket today and try their mouth-watering steak sandwich. You won't be disappointed. Kay's Restaurant, where every bite is a celebration.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer inviting you to join me for the Saturday Block Party. It's every Saturday from 4 until 7 p.m. when we fill the airwaves with the songs you want to hear. It's a party in every sense of the word, so join me live on 99.5 and 1240 a.m. or bring the show with you wherever you go at onworldwide.com.
This portion of the Coffee and Program is sponsored by Bob Lauder. Bob cannot be with us this week. We hope Bob can join us next week here on Coffee In. The Tiki Bar is sponsored by Robert Hope Lauder, attorney at law. He's not the son of a sailor. He's never been at sea for adventure, but he has dozens of books about heroes and crooks, and he knows how to resolve an indenture. He doesn't have a pencil-thin mustache of the Boston Blackie kind. He gave away his two-tone Ricky Ricardo sport jacket and lost his autographed picture of Andy Devine. If you'd like to discuss legal issues with Bob, please give him a call at 401-762-4550. 401-762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. All right, it's Coffee In here on ONAM at FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Scott McGee and Emily Haney-Sheen, and we're being joined at the Coffee and Table by Mike DeBrois, Director of Planning and Development for the City of Woonsocket. And a good morning to you, Mike. How are you?
Good morning.
Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us. I know that someone from the administration's here every Thursday, and
Yep.
my rotation, so I was glad to see it on my calendar.
So you drew the short straw this week?
No, I always look forward to getting.
Come on.
One of the things is I look
Speak
forward
for
to getting out of the
yourself,
office.
Joe.
What was that, Mike?
I look forward to getting out of the office.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah, why not?
And I know you said you're going to get back there because you'll be at the city council meeting tonight.
The workop, yes.
For the workshop, for the
Yeah.
closed session
He's
that
going
we
to
can't
talk
talk
about the agenda.
Tell us what's happening, Mike. No, we're not going to. We're not going to put him on the hot lamps like that.
Well, the
so.
agenda is posted, so there's items on there. It's just Councilman McGee doesn't know what's going to be discussed on there.
Right.
Yet,
Yes.
So it's all a big surprise, and take a lot of notes
Yeah, there you go.
when you get there. So, Mike, what can you tell us in terms of planning and development here in the city of Woonsocket? What's going on?
I think the biggest news has been what's been that we brought to the council a couple of weeks ago in a workshop, and then to the council meeting. Then it was in the Valley Breeze. It was on Providence Business News. Was the city and the award for close to $4 million for a food hub that we want to do downtown where the old Aaron's was. It's a vacant building on Social Street, and that we're aggressively working on now that the grant's been secured. We got some of the other paperwork done, and now looking the whole snowball, right? So a law department's working with their realtors to do the closing. We'll be back in front of the city council to secure those funds, and then hopefully get a shovel in the ground pretty soon.
What is a food hub?
Well, it's a vision that the mayor's office and the Department of Plan and Development came across when this EDA grant came up, and I look at it as more of I guess you could say, a glorified farmer's market. So
okay.
take the farmer's market to the next
Slash
level.
food court even, right?
Yeah,
So-
it's even, you know, it's not under any tents. It's in a building. It's, you know, hopefully if everything goes right, the conceptual plan, which can change, you know, designed for 5 to 7 build outs of different businesses that could be in there. During the summertime, we would have garage doors open on the long side of the building that would allow the fresh air and walking in and getting what you need. And during the wintertime, those doors would be shut and it would still have an alleyway. We would go up a second level, do hydroponics up on the second floor, and do some little cafe, and then solar powered on top of that.
Wow. Okay. So you don't have to knock the building down. You just
Nope.
be adding on to it.
That's the plans. That is correct.
Great.
It's a good building. It's a nice site. Mm-hmm. It's right downtown. If you look at it, you know, for a walking distance for the high rises, that, you know, it's great that you can go
It's
to.
convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient
There you
that
go.
you can go to a convenience store,
Yeah.
but we're trying to bring in some healthy products into the city. It's not just go down to the convenience store and buy
like
what's
more
on the
organic
shelf.
things, maybe, or
Exactly,
yeah.
something, you know.
Like maybe even like a farmer's market type.
Yeah,
of...
they have something
Produce.
similar in Providence.
Yeah.
and they actually have Rhode Island businesses. So they have like
Yes.
Wright's Farm in there, and
Yeah.
you know, some of the local farmers. It's a farmers market, I
Yeah,
guess, but
exactly.
they have like a little bakery and things like that in there. So
and it's going to be open to where it could be one business, you know, someone, I don't know who sponsors all the shows, so I won't say different names, but it could be
Sure.
some kind of butcher shop in the front, right? And then each of the other ones, a bakery, a florist, you know, you can section that off. Somebody who's looking to start a business would have an area to start and see, you know, it's all going to have it all built out. There's no cost to the business owner. And we've tied in with the Woonsocket Higher Ed that they would help supply training for potential employees.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a great model to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
go
it's
with.
basically a free $4 million project. Well,
Well,
more
we have a little bit of money, right? Our investment's
Right,
like
right.
793,000, and working with the city council, looking to see if we can do some ARPA money on that.
neat,
Can you give
yeah.
more
So-
money, Scott?
Yeah, what do you need?
So is it up to you, Mike, to reach out to the businesses to see if they want to come over there and set up shop?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if it's
Or
up
is it
to
more,
me,
like,
but
posted?
I
Is it
think
posted,
yeah,
probably, right?
we're going to end up having to hire a manager that's going to be down there, some staff. It'd
Okay.
still be overseen by the city for a little while, and then we'll still to see what happens after that. If some company, some agency, whatever, it decides that they want to manage it for the city and take it from there, that's all great. So
And there's also probably a condo option for that, where they can buy their own units or something, maybe too.
right now,
You
it's
know.
not
No,
designed
not
that
right
way.
now.
But,
I mean, like maybe in the future.
But right, it's neat because it's open, right?
Right.
We
Yeah.
can we're going to see what it morphs into.
Right, right.
So
Did
that's
this-
exciting.
Did the city council have to approve this going forward, and have they already done it?
So we talked with the past city council a little bit as to what we were doing,
Yep.
and then we talked with the present city council. We did a presentation a few weeks back, and then we did it. The mayor did a small presentation in front of the city council in the council chambers. I mean, on the third floor during a council meeting.
Right, just to make sure that the idea was okay and we were going to move forward, but we didn't
Yeah.
approve anything yet or whatever.
No,
so-
we just needed to make sure we had the support.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and because that's what the workshops are for. You
Right.
want to bring the ideas to the council, hopefully get some of those ideas and the questions out there, and if they have questions, we can get those answers.
Right.
So we
And
don't
if-
just go on to the council floor,
Right.
and then we're just deadlocked and nobody has.
Right, and you
nobody
wasted
knows
all
what's
your
going
time on it, basically.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want it to be a waste of time. That's
So
what.
what's the council's feelings on this? Does it
So
look
far,
good?
everyone I'm talking to, pretty good outlook on it. So everyone's, just wants to hear more about it.
Sure.
I saw some comments in the paper there. Everyone tells me not to look at that, but they some comments online
do it
saying,
anyway, yeah.
are we just going to rubber stamp this? Is this, how's the city going to take care of it? And I mean, these are all questions that we still have to talk about. Like we're not exactly sure how it's going to go, and Mike's on that too. So
That's why it's still in the
that's
planning.
why it's still in the planning phase, yes. But
Yeah.
it initially sounds good when we have a vacant building,
That's right.
sitting there, and we can make it
Well-
pretty, and
Yeah,
get
and
$3
that
million
vacant
bucks for it.
building has a lease on it for another 7 to 10 years, so it would stay
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
company that owns it could care less if somebody's in it. It's rented.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so they don't. There's no skin off their back. That it's fine. But what we did is we went and we approached Aaron's first, and said, we're interested in the building, you still have the lease. And then it took a lot of negotiations between my office, Aaron's, and the owners of the property to get everybody in line. And Aaron's basically said to the owners,
They must have wanted to get rid of
we'll
this.
walk away
Yeah.
and we'll pay out our fee for doing that only if it's sold to the city of Woonsocket for their idea.
Okay.
If you're not going to sell it to the city of Woonsocket, we're just going to ride.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just leave it as is.
So you know what? That just shows the integrity of them.
Right.
Aaron saw the investment
A lot
of
of
what we're
times
trying to
it's
do.
in
They
that,
saw the vision.
We see that a lot with even like Stop and Shops and things like that. They'll move a location or close down
Yeah.
a location. They'll keep a lease for 20 years sometimes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
They're paying thousands and thousands of dollars just to not have a competitor there too.
Yeah.
So, but it's an eyesore really in the city. It's between Boschman Lumber and MTR Sports.
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah.
So.
All right, glad to see something's moving forward with that. We'll find out more what's going on here in the city, but we got to take a break. And this portion of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by attorney Bob Lauder. The Tiki Bar is sponsored by Robert Hope Lauder, attorney at law. He can't solve mysteries anyhow, though he's a whiz at the game of Clue. But if you're seeking good legal advice, it's worthwhile having him talking with you. So if you have questions about estates or trust or dissolution of marriages when love turns to dust, then good legal counsel is surely a must. If you'd like to discuss legal issues with Bob, please give him a call at 401-762-4550, 762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
The best little auction in Massachusetts is Trudell's Auction Gallery in Bellingham. Auctions are presented every other Monday starting at 10 a.m. Please check out their website, TrudellsAuction.com, to see when the next auction takes place. You can stop by Trudell's Auction Gallery on the weekends before the auction to preview all the items being offered. You will see antiques and all sorts of personal property items from various estates. Trudell's Auction Gallery, 799 South Main Street, Bellingham.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Welcome back to Coffee In. This is Joe Callahan here with Scott McGee, Emily Haining-Sheen from The Call, and Mike DeBroyce, Director of Planning and Development. City of Woonsocket is here as well. And you're going to have to bring this idea to the mayor. Maybe Woonsocket could use this. It's what they're doing at Boston. And there's now a so-called, quote, nightlife czar. Can we use that in Woonsocket? A person has been hired, Corrine Reynolds, responsible for increasing nightlife options citywide in Boston to shake Boston's reputation as a sleepy town. Could we use one?
Not a sleepy town. It's not a sleepy town.
I go to Boston if I want to get wild.
Well,
Or Vegas.
she's been hired by Michelle Wu, the mayor of the city of Boston, to say, well, let's do something. And I'm like you guys. I didn't realize it was sleepy, but I'm not up
Maybe
there often. So.
the mayor can put Sam, her son, on that one. He can make the
You
city
might
wild.
want to check with the police and fire chief. They may not want that type of nightlife in the city.
It's fine just the way it
we
is.
like Woonsocket sleeping at night.
Right.
Okay.
I know you can't even get the late night wieners anymore. We have to work on that. That was always a good thing.
We got the Stadium Theater, and we got things going on at Chan's. Okay.
That's it.
That's-
right.
Well, there aren't any other nightclubs, so
Yeah.
at least not that I'm aware of. So
Not really, no. There's not a lot of nightclubs. You got to go to Providence, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
for that
Wanna
kind of
do that.
stuff.
Well, they used to be Cityside.
Yes,
Right.
but
Back,
no.
would
back,
have thought
back in the day, I was a Cityside. I was a Cityside participant.
All right. Mike, anything else you wanted to bring up of things that are going on, planning development-wise? Are you part of the whole Cass Ave project going on over there, or is that...
Only when needed.
in what capacity would you be
Right
needed?
now, our department is helping out with the part of the demo for the old Ho Kong restaurant, 366.
Well, it can't be knocked down fast enough,
Yeah, I
in my
know.
opinion, Mike.
Well, it was interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, there's
Process.
procedure.
There's a
Well, yeah,
There is
right.
a procedure. but
There's always a process.
Yeah.
we sent our construction supervisor in there to do a walkthrough with one of environmental companies, and he's
Is
like,
it all
it's-
empty on the inside?
No, he says it kind of looks like the scorpion bowls are still sitting on the
No,
tables. Smells a little greasy in there and oily. And he says when you go into some of these buildings that have been mothballed,
Yeah.
like even the Victorian building across, was that 148 Hamlet Avenue, and you walk in there and you still see like a coffee mug sitting there or something, and
Right.
it's like, it's a little eerie
On
feel.
the
Yeah.
call
there,
building.
Right?
The
Yeah,
call
the
building, yeah.
call building.
I
which-
mean, obviously now it's
for a little
different.
while until
It's different,
till
but
it's all apartments.
well, it's empty on the upper floors. They've completely
Gutted
yes, they've completely gutted it. But I mean, I remember when I first it literally it was like going. It was like the movie Lost in Space or Lost in Time, because yes, there was still like a BlackBerry on the table,
Really?
like literally.
Oh,
It's
BlackBerry,
just
wow.
yeah, it's just people just literally
Left stuff.
left, and that was it.
It's like that at the old middle school. If you go in
Yeah.
there now,
Yeah.
When we went in there, when Leo Fontaine was the mayor, and we did a walkthrough after when the school left, and it was still weird going in there. And I think back then the teachers still smoked in the teachers' lounge.
Sure.
area.
Yeah.
It looked like the ashtrays were still out there, and the cigarettes are still burning, and it's all those eerie feelings. And then you go in there still now, and
Yeah.
you still walk through there, and you can still hear like all the kids that were there. It's like all that noise is still stuck
Echoing
in that
around.
building.
Yeah.
Like, hasn't left yet.
That used to be the Straw Boss, right? The Ho Kong.
Oh, I remember it was the
Remember
Straw Boss. Yes, I do.
I think I have a book of matches from there. I never went to the Straw Boss.
memento.
I just remember it, but I never.
Oh,
went
I ate
there.
there once before
Did you?
the
I think
big
it was
before the big
Close.
controversy
Yeah.
took half
Didn't they have
end.
like a food poisoning or something?
No, there was a cook that had hepatitis,
Oh, is that what it was?
and he was cooking. And as soon as word got out,
Yeah.
no one went anymore.
No,
right.
I would think not.
And, yeah.
It
So
looks like, I have to say, I peeked in the doors the other day in Ho Kong. The doors inside are very nice, by the way. You might want to take those out. Maybe we can put them in City Hall.
I think as soon as that machine touches it, it's going
Crushed.
down. It's going to go down fast. If I know Director D'Agostino after working for him for a number of years,
Yeah.
as soon as we give him the okay, he might be the first one putting the bucket.
So, like you said, the scorpion bowls are still in there. You don't have to. You're not going to clear that stuff out. You'll just knock everything down.
everything's going to be demoed. We're just doing we have to do our due diligence for pest control. We have
Yep.
to do asbestos work on there just to make sure it's clean. We have to do an environmental one
Disconnections,
study.
sewer, water,
We're
electric.
doing we're disconnecting the utilities right now with the engineering division. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. When people say, "Well, city bought it, and it's just sitting there." We bought it, but it's not just sitting there. There's stuff in the back that has to be done. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
like Scott said, before you can actually put the bucket in it.
When you say you have to go in there for pest control, let's say there are mice living in there now. Do you have to
Gets
try to
baited.
get them out
No, it gets baited.
to kill them?
Yeah.
Well, why do you have to do that?
Well, unless you want them, we can
They're gonna run next
relocate
door.
them.
They're gonna run. Yeah.
Typically, they're baited.
I'm
No,
thinking,
when they knock it down, they run in the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
that's,
That's
that's
Well,
what you
that's
don't
right.
want.
Yeah.
oh, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Right, you don't want that. So you bait it
Okay.
so that way they
They're
terminate.
dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You gonna be okay, Em? You're shaking over there.
I'm
Thank
deathly
you.
afraid of rodents.
Oh, okay.
It's seriously,
That's
I
with
just
but
can't.
that's with every building, and Scott knows that. If
Yeah.
you go
Oh.
to demo, the last thing you want to do is scatter to the neighbors, right?
Yeah.
No,
So-
no.
Especially with a
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all the
Left in the storeroom.
and all that kitchen equipment that's still in there. That's just
Well, what will happen is when we put the demo bid, well, this isn't going out to bid. We're using an existing contractor that's already going to be on site. So Director D'Agostino's already working all that stuff out. So they'll have dumpsters out there that they'll probably sort through, and we put the metal aside, and they'll cash that stuff in, and they'll section everything off as best as possible.
Okay.
Yep. Whatever we can make money on, we will.
And you think like other restaurants come up and take a look? And
No, none of that. They'll
No?
never buy that stuff. This
It's
is
just scrap.
Scrap.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just been sitting there too long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants it anyways.
So many new things.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Nobody even buys used equipment anymore in the restaurant business.
No?
No.
It's
You know,
just-
you know why? Because nobody can fix it.
It's just
So-
too old. They don't make the
Nobody
parts
can fix
anymore.
anything. It's unbelievable.
You got to buy new
There's
constantly.
one company in the state that basically that fixes restaurant equipment. And,
Really? Wow, nice monopoly.
Yeah, no, and it like I called once, and it was like a month to come out and fix something. You're just better off. It doesn't sound terrible, but you're better off throwing it in the trash and getting a new piece. That's how bad it is.
We're a disposable
Wow.
society.
Yeah,
it's
it's
been like
terrible.
that for a long time.
Yes, it
It's
has.
getting worse.
It's
It drives
it
me
is
crazy.
getting worse.
It drives me cra- I had an ice machine that was out of warranty. It was 3 years old.
That's it.
Junk.
Wow.
Throw in the trash.
Junk.
And
Oh,
that's
that's,
not-
Like $3,500.
I was going to ask, the
Yeah.
cost and how much for a new one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. $3,500, but it was like $2,000 to fix it,
Wow.
and they couldn't come for like weeks. So
Yeah.
It was just
throw it in the trash. You know, it's sad though.
It
really
is.
It's sad.
It is.
You want the funny story, Em, about you're scared of rodents? I don't know if this kind of rodent you're scared of, but this was, my gosh, about 20 years ago, and I was reading in the newspaper, Sun Chronicle newspaper, the chipmunk population had like exploded.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And as I was reading that exact article, one ran across my kitchen floor.
Okay.
I'm like,
So my mother and I
really?
So perfect example. We had a cat. It was like an outdoor indoor, but it was declawed because it was a city cat first, and then it became a country cat. And all of a sudden, she comes in, and we're like, what is that in her mouth?
All right, yeah.
Dropped it, and it was a chipmunk. My mother and I, and this is
Screamed.
going back decades. We could not run fast enough to the island, hop on top of it, and this was before cell phones. And literally just
waited. You were
waited for
stuck.
my father to come home.
How many hours?
It was like 3.
Wow.
Like about 3. Oh, it was awful. Yeah, I'm no.
Wow.
I think I called like animal control and said, well, what do I do? And it was a little later in the day now, and they said, well, it's hunkered down for the night, so you're not going to get it tonight. And they're not nocturnal; they're morning animals. Okay, and their suggestion was go get a trap. I baited it with like bread and peanut butter. They'll find it in the morning. Okay, so I went and got one, baited it, and like 5 the next morning, I could hear it snap.
Oh, wow.
All right, so here I come downstairs to take a look. I said there better be a chipmunk and not something else in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a chipmunk.
Yeah, no, my dad put on oven mitts, and it was hiding underneath the heating element,
And he
and
picked it up?
he picked it up,
It
and
didn't-
he did let it free.
Did he try to bite it? Bite
No.
him? No.
No.
The thing is, when you go to let a
Okay.
chipmunk or something like that free, they tell you is you have to bring them like 4 miles away
Yeah,
from.
they-
Oh yeah,
where
they'll
you are.
come back.
They find their way right back to their house.
Yeah.
So over the river to grandmother's house, that whole ride,
yeah.
you take them out there. And one of the things that I noticed, I live at Tupperware condos, and we got 55 acres of land. So I'm out and I see the wildlife all the time, and I look at the rodent population. I'm on the board, so I have to look at what we do for pest control for the
Oh, yeah.
building and stuff. And the rodent population follows the whoever is hunting them, the foxes. So a number of years we'd see foxes right through our parking lots, no problem. They're walking around, through while people are out there. No rodents.
Right.
We couldn't see a fox now for about a year, and the chipmunks,
Come back.
rats, everything came out. Just recently, within the last month, I just started seeing fox back onto
Wow.
the property, and that's 55 acres of land right
Mm.
there,
Yeah.
along the gorge and stuff. So it goes with that.
Okay. Just back to the whole Kong for just a minute. Do you have an ETA of when they might, after you get all this stuff done, pest control and everything else, when they could start knocking it down?
Yeah, we probably have, if I start getting those reports, as long as the asbestos comes back decent, we'd probably be ready within a month or two to allow DPW to go ahead and get that place down.
All right, great. Any other plans? We got 2 minutes to go.
The next one that we're knocking down is 4656 Arnold Street. That was bought through the redevelopment agency. And that one's coming down. That was a 4-family with 2 commercial. That will be open space for a little while until we do some redevelopment along River Street and decide what plans we want to do on that. The department's got a huge grant that we're putting in for. We should be uploading that grant tomorrow, about $25 million. We tried for this grant a year ago. We missed it just a few points. We did an exit debriefing with the feds on it, told us what to do, change it. This will be for the downtown area, so it encompasses River Street, High Street, Main Street, so a little triangle right there. So that if that goes through, that will be good. And then there's a lot of other little things.
Yeah.
There's always something going on.
Yeah, and there's programs that people don't even know that we have money earmarked through our home program, and Scott knows this, where we've got $20,000 that we can give to people that own units, $20,000 per unit to help with maintaining it and fixing it. Our lead program, $25,000 per unit that we can help if you qualify. So I still urge people to contact the plan department and find out what the criteria is for those programs. That is money that we have to spend. It is taxpayer money, but it comes from the federal government, brought down to the municipalities to distribute. But we don't get enough people to walk in the doors or call us on that.
I see. All right, we've come to the end of the program. We thank you for listening, as always. Thanks to Dave Richards, who was here a little earlier today. Scott McGee, thanks for sticking around for the whole show.
Thank you so much.
Nice having you here. Em, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, and everybody have a great weekend, and I'll be here next week,
All
same
right.
time, same place.
Mike DeBryce, thanks for coming in from the
All right,
city.
enjoy.
Appreciate it. This is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember us at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the